السلام عليكم شباب، يا اهلا وسهلا فيكم، منورينا على البث. بلشنا اليوم بالسكريمز الستار تشالنج سكريمز لليوم الثاني. رح تكون مقدمه من البيراميدز نتورك. اكيد الف تحيه لستاف العمل تبع البيراميدز نتورك. واليوم راح يكون معنا اكيد فرق تقريبا الاسامي الموست لايكلي راح تكون هي المشاركه بالستار تشالنج، ولكن ما في شيء اوفيشال او شيء رسمي بالموضوع، نرجع بنحكي فيهم. ولكن اليوم معنا ضيف كتير عزيز وغالي, someone who I really appreciate, like friend of mine, which is Imperium. Imperium, welcome to the stream, man. I'm really happy to have you with us over the stream. Oh, thank you for the nice words, man. Imperium, really appreciate that. شوي هيك نخبر جماهيرنا. I'll try to explain a bit for the audience what did you say actually. So شباب كلياتهم عم بيخبرنا انه هو راح يكون مسؤول عن او مش مسؤول، راح يكون عم بيعمل دعاية الستريم تاعو الانجليش ستريم، راح يكون هو اللي مشارك فيه. وهيدا هيدا شغله كتير مهمه لهم، انه هو يكون عم ينخلط شوي بالسكريمات تبعنا، وعرف انه نحن عم نعمل سكريمات، سو حب يكون جزء منا. واكيد الكل بيعرف امبيريوم هو من الاشخاص اللي تقريبا بيستلم كل شيء ستريم كاست. كيف يعني هون كودي ساند ستورم والشباب كمان هونيك في ماكسمان وامبيريوم. بيكونوا هني لكل شيء بي ام سي او غيرهم الاي ام اي كلياتها شارك ببطولات اكيد كبيره من مثل وورد ليج وغيرهم من البطولات كمان المهمه يلي كانت عم بتصير. ان شاء الله بيكون مشاهده ممتعه على الكل بتواجد فرق نخبه مثل ما نحن عم نحكي، وفرق يعني بعض فرق ممكن تكون بالستار تشالنج وفرق تانية مختلفه. عم نشوف the teams Imperium that are participating, most likely they are a part of the Star Challenge. Well, as long as we know that the Star Challenge isn't officially like confirmed, the whole team's participating, but we are still checking like, okay, what would be next for them? You know, like this is the thing that we are waiting for. Will there be changes for the teams or not? So now maybe we will introduce the teams for the audience with us. So like this would be something good. You know, YALLA eSports. Fate Esports headquarters, Badinan squad, it's a Kurdish team. MAGMA, it's for the famous YouTuber Venom from Morocco. And MAGMA will play with the if you remember them, Snake Squad, Shenku, yes, they will be part of it with the Venom. So Venom is joining them, taking 3 players from them and playing together. So that's like something really exciting for us to know. Frag Machines, you already know Frag Machines. Badinan Squad is a Kurdish team who showed good stuff like in the Autumn Cup. So that's why like they are in headquarters. You already know about them. Fate Esports, they are like an organization in Jordan, and they are already a top team in the Middle East. So they will show us something like really good. Like that's, I expect them to have something really good. SMP team is the snipers team. They are from Egypt. Of course, they are at a decent level as well. One of the biggest teams in or clans in Egypt. We have Arab GSG. You know already Arab GSG with a famous YouTuber. صديقي وحبيبي أكيد أحمد البياتي. We have Iraqi Elite also, you already know about them. Nasser Esports, you know about them. The Force, they are a Saudi Arabian team also. You might have the chance to cast for them or not, I'm not sure. The Force, they are a decent team though. Yeah. Well, anyway, we already know like there are like lot of teams. You know, they are so good. The Force are a good team. Like they were peak team before, and they changed their roster and some stuff like that. But they have a decent squad. The Spark Esports, they are actually a team called iPerfect Player, but it got acquired by esports organization called the Spark Esports in the Middle East. We have the Monster. The Monster are one of the biggest teams in Kurd area, Kurdistan, Iraq. They have huge fans, and they are actually really good players with their IGL Nabo, and their player crazy. He's a clutch player, always like clutch player. Arab Madness is the first team in the whole region who participated actually in esports games, which was 2018 Dubai Star Challenge. Okay, they were the first Arab team and the only Arab team who actually joined the esports. It was Arab Mans. They have a huge history. We have Saudi Special Forces, an organization in Saudi Arabia. Together, also Saudi team, the 963. They are a team from the Middle East, but they are really good players. Qatar Forces Esports, it's a new esports team joining the whole scene now as well. So, lot of teams, lot of teams they are going, and here we go with a plane. So the plane path, we've messed it already, but we'll see a lot of teams approaching different areas on the Vikendi game. عندنا الفيت اي سبورتس بالبورت، عندنا 963 كوزمول، اس اس اف اراوند كوزمول، اس ام بي متواجد تقريبا بمنطقه الكول ماين، حوالين الكول ماين. نشوف الاي ام جوروكا، عندنا الاتش كيو دوبروميستو از يوجوال، الاتش كيو دروب ان دوبروميستو. بي اس بدينا سكواد they are dropping in Vihar, and elite they are dropping in Movatra. Usually elite drop in Volnova, not in Movatra, but this time like they are just jumping around. Maybe Movatra they are trying it, a new tactic maybe. We have YALLA GZ, or the guns GZ are actually the Mega Magma, El Chapo, Flame Marshall. So they always drop in this area, Tovar and Castle area. We have the team and Yalla Esports always jump in Winery, and the Frag jump around them. So we always have that beef between Yalla and the Frag. GSG always jump in Milnar, like it's their looting spot. Nasser Esports, they used to jump different spots, but they are not there now. We have Rico Infinity team, but they are not playing now. Usually they drop in Goroka, and the Flare Gun team as well. They drop in Goroka. Those are Start Challenge teams. They're not playing now, but they will play maybe later on. So exciting game. No first blood yet. So we're gonna wait for that thing to happen. So what do you think about the zone, the Vikendi? Like, give us something that you already, you know. Yeah, definitely. Frag Machines and Yalla are well known in the winery area, but now, of course, Yalla Esports are playing two players, so this makes it really hard to compete against top team like Frag Machines and take them like, let's say, 4v2. This is not possible. 2v4, sorry, like not possible with a team like بحجم اسم الفراج machines, like the name of Frag Machines. So as you said, like about the GSG being split, like here we see the knock from Andelito against Satan from Nasser Esports. Satan is the IGL of Nasser Esports. He's a very smart player, Syrian player who's living in Kuwait, and he's playing for Nasser Esports. His team is Saudi Arabian, well, but actually he's not Saudi himself, but the others are. And they last addition for them from player Wadia. Wadia is a player who played with Marines Forces in Germany. and they did actually a very like nice addition. I think Badia is really stable, like really good player, and he was the IGL of Marines Forces, so probably he can have some addition to give for Nasser Esports. We're gonna wait and see this. Also, GSG Zoro is one of the tough players on close range for GSG, and this can be something huge for GSG. We see Rafiq from the European team of the GSG. Rafiq, exactly. Exactly, Rafiq and Andalito actually play together there, and they can have something to add. And here we see the Force are getting for a third-party action from player Yazid. He's taking a third action, like, oh, third party, I love it. I love third parties in Weekend, and it's most common, especially at this stage of the game. The Force actually play aggressively, kind of, and we're gonna see this in the Star Challenge for sure if everything was confirmed for them to be part of it. Now, نروح هيك شوي لعند خالد. عم نشوف البوش اللي عم تنعمل من خالد وانداليتو. عم بيضل لحاله اللاعب وديع من فريق نصر. نصر عم بيعاني هذه المنطقة، مش اليوجوال سبوت يلي بينزل عليها فريق النصر، ولكن عم بيتم اقصاء فريق نصر على المركز ال 17 على ايدين الجي اس جي، والجي اس جي بيكون خسران لاعب وحيد هو زورو. نوكت عم بينعمل الريفايف له وذ فورس، عم بيفوتوا على الثيرد بارتي يا جماعه. الثيرد بارتي اللي عم تقدم لعب بيسان recent addition for the Force. بيسان عندهم they have that player Groza is really decent, like Groza and Bompa. I know them, they played together with 1X, the only one. This was like in the Saudi Arabian PMCO. I know them very well, and they are really good. And here we have also another, ooh, this nade on Bisan, it was insane, like crazy nade. And we have already another fight between 963 and SMP, maybe at the middle of the zone, like at the Mount Presnich, but we're gonna try to cover this fight between the Force and GSG. Actually, the Force played the third party pretty much well in that area, and it was successful, definitely, and I really like it. Now we were gonna move to that fight of HQ and the other team of AM. Actually, HQ and AM, like AM are playing kind of with a new kind of roster. Okay, so this is giving them a chance to improve, to show up for something good, and the HQ are playing that aggressive gameplay where they got a knock and they finished one player and they are actually approaching. It's a good step for them, like approach 4v2. This is really good. Let's the last one player Spy is alive from AM, getting chased by Bandar, and Bandar is he got knocked and got finished. Bandar got knocked and finished, but it was the end of AM Arab Madness. عم بيودعونا على المركز ال 15 بابروتش من الاتش كيو على فريق الاي ام. 4 clean kills, but they lost Bandar. This was something.
رجعوا رومانات، رجعوا.
Definitely, and now we are seeing like more fights between the teams. Usually the fights are in the middle of the zone. This is also something that we always need to consider. And now THM is getting like shot by player GZ Flame, which is the Flame. By the way, he played with Middle East assassins before, and now Marshall is pushing. So they are actually hard pushing the THM on the close range fight. Like close range fights are always so important. Like when you know that your entry frag can always do something for you, but it depends also on that how you're moving, and if you're moving too fast or too slow, or what exactly the case. Because we have seen a lot of issues or a lot of mistakes from kind of players who rush their like rush their aggressive, like aggressivity. Sometimes they play it in a way like, okay, let's take it easy, step by step, tactical aggressive, or they just like boom rush it. Like what do you have to tell us about this? Definitely, and now we're seeing 963 are pushing their way against THM after getting one knock against Darwin, and that's the finish of THM. THM بيتم التفنيش عليهم بالمركز ال 13. عم نشوف aggressivity كتير عالي من الفرق. We see like a lot of aggressive gameplay from the teams, especially in Vikendi. Like Vikendi is the map of third parties, like getting those frags. Each one like who hear a shot, like okay, let's try to take our push, and obviously you usually see it in scrims that the teams try to be more aggressive because they want to get the synergy up, especially that everyone is trying a new player in. So they want to make sure that, okay, this player is able to take fights properly, because that's the worst case scenarios where we're going to stand in the tournament and we're taking more fights against each other. So this is why we always see this kind of aggressive. And now Push is pushing actually, but he fully damaged two players, but they didn't actually manage to get a knock, and Faisal is covering him with the nades. He got one with a nade, and so the last one standing from 963 Wolf, dark artist actually. So yeah, actually those kind of pushes, like I really like it from the teams when they are playing aggressive. Like it shows you some more to focus on the tactic that team is using when they are pushing, like who's their entry fragger, who's their normal fragger, who's their flanker, how do they manage their teamwork, split to two or just push 1-3 or just push four of them. So a lot of things being applied in the map of Vikendi. It allows you actually to have this site where you know, like okay, there's a lot of buildings of gates, like in out this area, that area, and using the power of the SMGs in the map of Vikendi. And the SMG are well known for their close range fight, where you take like close range fights much better than any like close range fights is really necessary in Vikendi. Unlikely like Miramar, for example. Yeah, this is 100% sure. And here we see also a fight between Qatar forces and SSF, Saudi Special Forces. It ended up with having Qatar forces a full squad wipe on the SSF. Qatar Forces, they most likely not going to be in the Star Challenge, but they have new players, Joker and Phoenix. They are from Marines Force. They have Master. I don't know if you know Master. He used to be with Superpower Esports, and before this, he was with Team 46 Loot in the Star Challenge 2019 in Saudi Arabia, and he's actually a Tunisian player and a really like a really good player, but he's not. Too bad that Qatar Forces won't be in the Star Challenge most probably. So we're gonna see this, but those teams got like future. Like I see the MENA, the whole MENA, كل region المينا عم يكبر. It's getting much better with the teams. And, the gameplay they are playing, the aggressivity they are putting in to improve, because we know that MENA region in general is not the most competitive region like overall, but it is improving. So here we see the fights between الفيت والTF, the Force بيسان جروزا بومبا. عم نشوفهم بفايت قوي مع الفيت اي سبورتس. فايت مهم جدا بعد ما كان محصل الفريق الدق فورسز 4 كلات على فريق يعني كانوا ياخدين 4 كلات. هلا عم بشوف سبراي كثير قوي على اللاعب راجناروك، ولكن راجناروك عم بيقدر يتخبى وما عم بتصير عليه النوك. عم بيحاولوا ذا فورس ياخدوا فايتات قد ما فيهم، ولكن الفيت معروفين الدفاع تبعهم بهيدي النقط جدا جدا مهم، ومش سهل انك انت تكسر ديفنس قوي مثل ديفنس مثل ديفنس الفيت اي سبورتس. فيت اي سبورتس الديفنس تبعهم جدا قوي. يعني انا كشخص اذا بخلي فريق يلا اي سبورتس مثلا يعمل اجريشن، ما بخليه يعمل اجريشن على الفيت اي سبورتس. هن عاملين هولدنج للكومباوندز قبل ما ياخذ ليتس سي تو نوكس اتليست لحتى اللي يقدر يفوت على البوش. وهون فعلا ثقه في الدارك والموضوع، وماش عم بيحطوا الهارد بوش عليهم لانه اخذوا نوك. والزون عم تعمل شيفت، والزون رح تعمل شيفت اوكي. بعدها الفيز 3 ما بيكون فيها شفتات هارد شيفتس قويه بتاثر على الفريق. شوف هون التي اس كي ذا سبارك اي سبورتس مع الاليت كانوا محصلين كلات على علي بزون. لاعب اليت لا مش كان نوك، ما بظن، يمكن كينج وزيكو هن اللي اخذوا نوك فينش 100%، ولكن ضلوا اللاعب علي هو الالايف الوحيد والناجي الوحيد من فريق الاليت ممكن يقدر يتقدم بالفيس 4. 33 لاعب 10 فرق الفراغ عم ياخذوا الاتش اوف زون، والاتش كيو عم يتوسطوا الزون. اكيد استراتيجي جدا جيده من الاتش كيو. اوريدي نحن بنعرفهم بيلعبوا على السنتر نوعا ما وقت بيتطلب الموضوع، ولكن مش دائما بيركزوا على السنتر. بيكونوا اوقات عم بيفكروا مثلا اذا كانت الزون ايدج خلص بلعب انا ايدج، اذا كانت الزون سنتر بلعب سنتر. سو الموضوع مش قرار بايد الاتش كيو مثلا. هذا الموضوع اللاست اديشن باي ذا واي هو للاعب باورفول. اللاعب player powerful got added to the team of HQ. So they were actually 4 players: Jamaz, Aidah, Bandar and Loka, but now they added powerful. Powerful comes from the team 69, SWAT 69. He's a very decent fragger actually, and he showed up high level of gameplay. I really like this player, and I really like it the HQ, like, you know, it took him because he can really be an addition instead of maybe Loka or kind of, because they don't actually have if you know, just the HQ players are the best friends real life. So, and they've been playing together for around a year now. So this is something also always I think about HQ, like, okay, this is something super nice from them. Actually, the way they moved, they avoided HQ because they knew that my HQ are there. They got the information before, and the team of on the high ground SMP, they can't just go and take high ground and pull a fight there. It's very hard to push it. So they decided to move to the dead center, and they are now approaching more up because on coal mine area, it's you know, like the high ground, low ground thingy. It's very important and very hard to manage to defend it properly. But now we see them approaching, trying to take the third party against QF and the forces, but the QF could actually manage to take the force down. And here we see the spray from Master, but was like it wasn't enough to make Raouf knocked, or to get Raouf knocked at that certain like this angles it's always a tricky angles. Like that's how I see it, that having this hard shifts always, how it comes for that hard shift, how to take the high ground, how to play the zone properly. When you start shooting and you get yourself open for like tunnel vision for another team to get easy kills on you, especially with the zone 5, zone 6, which is the deadly zones in the Vikendi game. And now we're coming to phase 6, but everyone is in the zone. So what do you think? Who would make it now? Because I really like the split of team together. If you see Push at the edge zone holding Fate, and the other Faisal and Hamad, they are holding team QF and TF, and the Glorious is center the zone. Yeah, definitely Fate Esports now taking the sprays against Push, player Push. Maybe they got the knock, exactly. Isawi got the knock and they were gonna go 4-man like hard push there because it's very important for them to get like maybe another knock on Faisal. Exactly, that's what happened. Isawi got another knock and they are hardly pushing Harif, Laith, Ragnarok and Isawi hardly pushing this high ground area, which can be a dead like this is like the end of TF. Maybe this is how it goes, man. Like this team is crazy. Fate team is crazy. They have this kind of aggression and teamwork play that it's great. And TF, TG together, like they really took the this split that they should have expected it. Like maybe put more pressure on that angle. Yeah, definitely. Frag machines are well known, like with their gameplay, like they don't take much risks. You know that what they have done is approaching this middle, then the zone hard shifted away from them, but still they are in the edge of the zone. They didn't push it. Like they tried to make a fight against QF, saying like, "Hey, we exist, we are here." You know. Then they seized the fire, then they stepped back, and QF respected this. So QF have 3 players covering the other angle, but 1 player on Frag. But Frag totally forgot about QF, knowing that okay, they are not a risk for us now. And this calls is very important in the game, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna take this fight here because I don't need to take this fight here because QF are more likely not danger for me at this moment. I can grab the kills while gatekeeping. But now, knowing that the zone hard shifted, Frag has to make a move, and I don't know if this will be successful or not. But Raouf is an entry fragger. He always lead the fights there. Maybe he can get a knock, but almost got knocked actually from Fate. So Fate have the high ground and QF have the big warehouse. This is gonna be insane for Frag to push it actually. That's definitely true. And here we see that Team Magma or GZ Guns Esports. They are actually pushing the warehouse, trying to get themselves in the zone, but they lost already El Chapo for that, and earlier they lost Marshall, but now they're doing the aggressive, and we see LK almost glorious, almost knocked out. It's impossible. It's impossible to push this warehouse. It's impossible. It's one way only on, but you have like 3-4 angles that you're gonna get shot from, and it's not just a easy mission to do it. What I like about the MENA teams that they have this aggressive gameplay. Okay, kind of the strategy is not like too good, you know. They need to improve on the strategy, but they got the skills, and that's what I really like about the MENA teams, that they can provide a high level when it comes for skills. It's about only improving the tactics, and this is it. If you notice now, like TF are spread like 1-1, okay, and this is logical because they don't have they have edge of the zone, both of them. We see QF are being in the warehouse, really defending that spot. We see Fate Esports now, they have the zone. Will they translate this for a huge like coal mine, man? what an end zone, coal mine. Like I never expected it would end coal mine, man. Because coal mine, like, yeah. Wow. Wow, very nice actually move from QF, because they did this flank and they're trying to approach that small, you know, the small way for the zone where Light was defending. Harif got the support there, and Ragnarok is covering fires from there, covering shots actually, not to let the QF approach, and Isawi as well on the top of the mountain. Like this is a really decent split. Like, hey, you're not gonna make it here. You know what? Like we're gonna win this game, and you're not gonna make it here. And this is what I actually see from Fate Esports, holding all the angles there and putting like hard pressure on QF, not letting them make it. So we'll see how well QF reacts to it. Will they be able to push this Groza, take Groza down, and then make their way in the zone and take maybe Fate 52? But it's possibly not gonna happen, man. Harif is on fire. GG, well played regarding that. Ragnarok had 0 kills, but he still did a hell of a job recovering that shots on a QF. It was actually really effective. But we see Isawi with 5 kills, Harif with 4, and Light with 2. It's actually a really good chicken having 11 kills. Like this is something like really good, because recently we have noticed that all the chickens being taken, like especially in PMGC, like 5 kills, 6 kills, 7 kills, or you see it 15, 16, 17. Like the mid numbers are not there, like 11, 12 kills. This is not much you know, it's happening recently. So whether teams are being aggressive from the start and being lucky, catching rotations and making those frags, and then they win with 15 plus, or they are just being lucky with the zone and no one is being around them till the end of zone and they make like 5-6 kills and win the game. So really well played from Fate, having 11 kills with the chicken. The Force being second with 4 kills, actually. Rosa Yazid Bompa. And GZ Flame was actually healing, so it gave him a time. Instead of taking position 4, he took position 3, and if he had only one more first aid, he could get position 2 instead of TF actually. But he died like right before Groza died, and this was also tricky. And nice gameplay from GZ, making it with 10 points in position 3 and 3 kills. It was a really nice game. I love the aggressive gameplay that done from Fate and HQ, QF. Like actually, I see a lot of improvements for those teams, and hopefully this gonna move forward with us, like to see more action on the Miramar and the Erangel games, which is coming next. 100% true that a team like UF should be, sorry, team like TF should be more aware of that. Like, okay, we might get pushed from this side. Like, we need to collect more info. We need to make less mistakes. Don't peek here. Let them approach us. Let them come closer to us so we can take the nades. Like, we got this position. They need to come to us. So you need this aggressive defense, not the aggressive attack where you peek. And they both two players peeked from TF and got knocked by Isawi, the same player, and they managed to take TF like really two players down and then three players down, and then they completely wiped TF and they won the game. That was the game changing for Fate. I really like their gameplay, their teamwork, and the way that they always defend their spots. It's crazy. Like I really love Fate for knowing how to defend each spot they hold. So it's not an easy team to push, not at all. I'm telling you this not from this game, but over the previous couple of months, they've been playing this way, and they're actually winning a lot of tournaments, local tournaments. You know, in Metro, they were the winner of Metro. They won $8,000, if I'm not mistaken, or $6,000, and they got MVP, and they're doing a hell of a job actually. Really respect for them. So we're gonna go on a be right back for 5 minutes, and we're gonna be back Imperium. شباب عن جد نشكركم جزيلا، وبعتذر بس عم نحاول نحط شوي انجلش شوي عربي للاشخاص اللي ما عم تفهم كتير الانجليش، بعتذر منكم، ولكن عم نحاول نغطي لكم السين قد ما فينا مع صديقنا وحبيبنا اكيد Imperium. Thank you Imperium. We'll be back in 5 minutes. وهلا حبايب قلبي رجعنا لكم هالمرة مع الجيم التاني. رح تكون مابة الميرامار، تواجد الفرق أكيد. رح نروح على السكور شوي، نحكي أكتر عن السكور، شو صار أو مين اللي أخذ المركز الأول مبدئيا هلأ، ومين أخذ المركز الثاني وغيرهم. أكيد هي واضحة نوعا ما إنه الفيت إي سبورتس هن المركز الأول. بدنا نتأكد من هيدا الموضوع ومنروح للسكور سوا. وفعلا الفيت اي سبورتس هن على المركز الاول. So Imperium, we are on on the stream, like showing the results. Obviously
Yeah.
it's YALLA Fate Esports who got position 1, and we have as well like Qatar Forces Esports, who actually got 11 kills, but they went in position 4. But because they have 11 kills, they are now in position 2. So
Yep.
how important the kills are in certain situations.
Big time. Kills are, in my eyes, genuinely 60% of succeeding in PUBG Mobile competitive. Is it the defining factor? No, but even if you have an early game where you're able to rack up 3 or 4 kills, not only does that eliminate more players from the lobby, therefore automatically creating a bit more space for yourself, but it gives that extra level of confidence. It gives that extra level of control. There's a kind of peace of mind that you already have 4 points on the board, especially when you're dealing with the likes of the Global Championship and the higher leagues where it's less placement points. You know, grabbing those early kills or, grabbing those extra few kill points. We've seen time and time again in tournaments where what is deciding a team qualifying is 1 or 2 points. You get an extra 1 or 2 kill points. That's it. Job done. So yeah, kills are just so important.
Yeah, 100% with this new system, 15 points for number 1, but the kills are more important because after like having 27 minutes, 28 minutes in a game, phase 6, phase 7, but you still get top 9 or top 8 and you earn only 1 point from placement, this is really bad for any team. So yeah. شباب نحن عم نحكي اكثر عن موضوع النقاط والكلات وقد ايه اهميتها. برايي امبيريوم اكيد انه الكيلز هي شيء كتير اساسي بقلب الجيم، خصوصا بالسيستم الجديد اللي عم بصير، وعم بتكون الكيلز هي فارق كتير كبير، لانه الفريق اللي عم بيكون بالتوب 1 توب 2 توب 3 هو اللي بيكون عنده اكثر كيلز من الفرق الثانيه. نروح شوي هلا للجيم اكثر وننسى النتائج ونشوف الجيم، يعني وين راح يكون البلين. So the plane path is from Al-Azhar toward Los Higos. Like this plane path isn't the perfect plane path for a lot of teams because some of teams prefer to have it like, El Pozo is not reachable, so frag machines can't go El Pozo.
Yeah.
Water treatment is not actually reachable, so GSG can't go to water treatment. We see now the YALLA Esports couldn't make it with full roster, so they are not playing the game. Otherwise, they would be, for example, on the north side of the map. Their new looting drop, El Azhar actually. This is the new YALLA Esports looting drop. We see different Fate usually go on the north side of Los Leones. 963 goes to Puerto Paraiso or around it. 963 like. If I want to go for you, like more things like SMP go to Graveyard, around Graveyard. That's their looting spot. Elite, they go to Picado. And GZ or El Chapo, like those guys also go to around Monte Nuevo, I believe. Yeah, so a lot of teams, and Miramar, it's well known for being the map of Arabs because the Arabs are really good in this game. Like they love Miramar, like they play Miramar more a lot of games in Miramar. So yeah.
Well, it's just hitting the stereotype with the desert terrain, right? We do see phase 1 popping up. It complements the plane path. That's a good thing, right? It's pretty much dead center compared to the plane path. So teams that even if they did drop, as far away as possible from the plane path, they are still going to be relatively close to the circle, if not already inside it. When you look at the side of Team 12, which is Nasser Esports, they're going all the way to Valdemar, but that's still inside the circle. So it's a good start across the board. There's plenty of high ground areas that you can rotate towards, depending on your loot spot. Looking at Lambadita as a core part of positioning on phase 1, which is already held onto by headquarters, and then you're looking towards the high grounds of Power Grid / Picado, which again already held onto by the side of the Spark Esports. And then down south, the edge of Los Leones. You don't want to be inside the city, right? You just want to be on the high ground edge.
Yes, definitely. As we see now, the plane path or the plane, the circle is almost covering like all the teams and only 2 teams not in, which is QF and SSF. They need to rotate, but rotating from the north side, it won't be an issue, especially when the zones start, you know, closing in. So teams will be able to make a move and go more centered after looting. So this is usually takes 5 to 6 minutes, like for teams to control their areas. Like HQ always drop around La Bendita. That's their spot. You know, and they do play really good in Miramar on the angles. SMP also the drop on, as I said, like graveyard and around it. Although they don't like to play, they keep it more together, like as a team. More than splitting. HQ actually do the splits because they like to gather information, or they have more experience playing more splits, because splitting is sometimes bad for some teams if they are not able to manage to defend, like how to play it solo, you know. So that's why we see some teams being in, and this is more likely to happen in MENA, that we see a lot of MENA teams playing the edge of the games. BS is a team also, like as we said, like a new team being there. This is dropping spot. We're not sure that they always go there. Elite and Picado, as we mentioned, TF are around Picado, like left side. This new warehouses and stuff, like after adding this in the new Miramar, it actually gave more chances for teams to split and control certain angles. Like this is really important. Like a split, like usually in Miramar we used to have a lot of big issues, like okay, where will we jump, guys, you know. We always see it a big issue. So with this this situation, they can split anywhere and the problem solved.
I like the fantastic play by the monster. Nabo was able to catch out one of the Frag Machine players, Roof, to get that instant kill. I can only imagine that was actually not a pre-plan, but something done on purpose, because they would have seen, based on obviously the parachutes, that a team in some way landed behind them. So by the monster kind of spreading out of Hacienda quite nicely, it was a bit of a risk, Nabo going in on his own, but either way it worked out, and that will of course create a little bit more control on the northern edge of the circle for themselves. Yeah,
this is definitely the case, and here we see that Force are getting in fight with Badinan squad. They got one confirmed kill, and they knocked one player for BS, but I guess like Bisan rushed it a bit and pushed alone. It caused him like to die because of this. BS doesn't have the loot, like looting here. It doesn't always give you a chance, so maybe the forces can actually eliminate BS here, benefiting or getting the advantage that okay, BS doesn't have the full loot needed. So okay, what will we do, you know? But here we see Groza approaching alone, and Bompa and Yazid are really far from him. So after knowing that, like Groza, he is a sick player on close range. Maybe he can do something, but they will probably outnumber him kind of. And we see the Oh man, Groza, I love this player. I love this player on the close range. He's always able to make something, like always something. This player is a smart player, man. Like he's very smart. Like he can frag left and right, however he wants. He already got one kill and he got 2 knocks for himself. So he just wanna take hide and down, and he will make alone the squad wipe on Badinan squad.
He's going in. He's gonna get knocked down for his trouble though. Hayden does indeed shook Groza down, and unfortunately the rest of the fourth side didn't really have a vehicle, so providing that level of backup has taken longer than Groza would like to have seen. I think after Groza got that double knockdown, if his team hadn't been in a support position, he could easily have disengaged away. Yes, he would have been out in the open, but with tractors and hay bales and his team at that point closer to him, I really feel like Groza could have disengaged away. He'd done a fantastic job up until that point, but when you're looking at Miramar and wanting to have yourself up as either a full squad or as many players as possible, that was a little bit of a mistake by Groza.
100% sure. That's why we always say that sometimes, like, you can, like, he did a hell of a job getting 2 knocks again, but
Yes.
it's not always the solution for that. And here we see Pompa trying to take the close range fight against Freak, but he got knocked actually from Freak, and Yazid is the only one left with covering shots for his friend. But BS are showing you some more teamwork stuff and eliminating TF one after one. And here we see Yazid maybe getting finished, but Oh, okay. He got 1 bandage anyway. No drinks, nothing. So it doesn't seem quite positive for Yazid to actually survive this fight, because the moment that BS will recover, they will directly push it.
Yeah, it feels like you see that it's stuck between I would say rock in a hard place, but it's actually a hay bale in a hard place. The hard place being BS. Again, yeah, you touch upon it really well. Great teamwork by the side of Bandanan squad, to be fair, because you know, going in as a 3-man team, you don't necessarily know how many players are there, right, or how many players are going to be joining up. So it was important for them to really stick together in that regard. Yes, 2 of their players got knocked, but again, having as many players in that area as possible, which was 3 in this case, was a proven factor for them being successful in that engagement.
Yes, definitely. And now we see together and Saudi forces, it's like a Saudi war between both of them. But actually, it's a 3v4. They got actually 2 knocks on SSF. It's amazing from Glorious. He's doing a hell of a job there with his flank position. He got the knock, and you know, they are doing good job. But Faisal got knocked from Ragnar. Like SSF Ragnar and SSF Valcon, they're the last 2 people alive from Team SSF. They can do the revive for their player, and then, like, okay, get the forces up and let's join. Let's join this push on TG push and the Glorious. So we'll see who will act first. Will the Nates of Together team will land on the force and stop them or not?
Push, looking to try and be protective. Ragnar and Murn sticking together. Yudo Falcon coming on through. Nice pre-shots being thrown out. Push is going to be pulling under pressure. It's going to be a trade. 1-for-1. Glorious going to be on his own. Prone's down for the shots on towards Falcon. He's going to get taken out. He's going to be shut down, and it is the side of SSF who come out on top. Saudi Special Forces cleaning up, and they will get that revive onto Murn and stay up as a 3-man team.
Yes, 100%. I like it that they even split the kills, like 1-1-1, you know. Even this year, like, I really like it from SSF. Also against great teamwork, but again, the advantage were for them from the numbers, because they had 3 players actually against 4 players, so they knew how to play it with the numbers and actually managed to take down the team. QF are making already a move toward the center of the zone, while the zone 1 is closing. More teams are approaching the center, kind of waiting for that zone. It's a bit more likely to the north side, so it's not gonna be an issue for the rotations. But we see Elite very close to SMP, and they might take a fight on the middle of the zone there, on this hill. Like, this hill is really important, like, to control. Having the warehouses on the east side of the map, it's really important. We'll see SMP 4-man squad alive, and we're gonna see Elite having 3-man squad. So also again, the outnumbering of SMP, since Elite joined with 3 players only, not 4 players. So how will SMP be able to you know, manage this point and actually get the gameplay well with their the player in the dark is actually flanking Elite, but it's not always a smart idea to flank on such close range. Not always.
Also looking over is the side of Fate are pushing towards the 2 members of Headquarters. Headquarters going for a 2-2 split. I feel like that's a little bit risky when the circle did shift up to the north, so multiple teams from the south are going to be looking to, of course, push in towards their direction. Elite do get 2 players knocked down, so it is, of course, SMP gaining control of this team fight.
I'm pretty much surprised with player SMP in the dark, because in the dark he actually put the pressure there and he started the first knock, and here we go against King, and he gets no way, King got in the dark. This was like game changing for SMP. If he got King, they could eliminate Elite on this area, but in this situation in the dark got knocked. It's 2v1 situation. Marco and the Clown Boy have to push Elite King and eliminate him before he finished their player in the dark and managed to deal more damage for Team SMP, because they already lost their player Kareem there. So we'll see. As you spoke earlier before about the Team HQ, they're actually engaging with a decent fight against one bullet or like this team. It's called like one bullet, or maybe better to say it one bullet Snake Squad and GZ Guns Esports and now MAGMA. So we see different tags for them. So HQ now, like we're trying to follow up the HQ fight, losing Ida already, but Bandar got 3 kills for himself, and he's able to compete on. Bandar is a very close range, like he's super decent at close range Imperium. Like I really like Bandar for that. Like he know how to handle the close range situations. And here we see like maybe SMP got wiped actually from Elite King alone. This is insane.
Insane indeed. On a side note, Kevin, for some reason I don't know if it's on stream as well, but your audio is a little bit weird on Discord. At least I don't know if it's like that on stream. As we do see RGSG do take down Bandar from headquarters. It does still at least leave headquarters up as 2 players, but now that GSD have been able to take down or it actually send Bandar away. Bandar actually got away. He didn't actually go down, but GSD are able to now focus on Nasser Esports, who are down to the southwest of them. The blue zone is closing in. The Monster are going to be on top of the high ground hills of Picado, taking on a little bit of a fight with side of TSK.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the thingy of the audio. I'm not sure what is exactly happening.
It's fine now.
If it's fine now, that's perfect. Yeah,
it's weird.
We're gonna sadly we didn't follow up the fight of TSK and THM, where TSK managed to take THM the monsters down. Like TSK like really got good skills. Like their recent player Power Azuz, he's actually good player. Like I know Azuz, he's always that clutchy player as well. But they control the very important hill, which is Picado Hill, and I do believe that this hill is always a lot of fights ended there, like end zones. This hill, like it's crazy, man. Like we've seen loops there. I've seen many teams who dominated that hill. It's amazing. But as you said, that split of HQ 2-2 is insanely hard. It's not easy. Knowing that, but they lost Ida with Bandar. I guess it's time for Bandar to move toward his friends, Powerful and the others. Here also we see.
I don't know if he can though. I don't know if he can. His vehicle did get smoked up, and if he goes any further, he's on his own for now. And the good thing is he's going to be able to provide information to his duo teammates that are together. But at the end of the day, he is realistically on his own.
And here we go for the first hard shift in the game, which is toward that Bendita side, east side, man. Like this angle also, that has high angles, and Nasser will not hesitate to take the high ground of the edge of the zone from the west side. And we'll see more rotations from SSF toward La Bendita and more fights, I believe, on the for Fate. Like Fate will definitely try to push, and I really like the split of AM. It's being done like really nice, but the other players, Benoit and Spy, needs to actually get closer with AM because they're friends, because that middle zone where a team AM at is a really perfect angle. Like, okay, we need it's middle, so a lot of teams might have an eye on it. Like, yeah, we want to take that spot, so they need to have more support. Maybe split 1-3 would be much better than having 2-2.
It was a great rotation for Nasser Esports. They went actually through Bacado, so they avoided RGSG after getting the information that RGSG were in that area. And based on this circle shift, what they most likely thought was, well, there's pretty much going to be nobody in Picado. We can rotate around through Picado and get into the circle on the western side. So that was a really good job. And because they did it pretty much straight away, Nasser Esports have got a really strong position on the high ground western side of this phase 3.
100%. Here we see a Team Fate like getting themselves a knock on Team GSG, but they are trying to push in the open. Actually, this is a really bad idea. They better try to take their or keep their high ground. Like here, they might their car they might lose. They might no. Okay, they got out of the car at the right time, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's really scary, like moving yourself from angle to angle, and with one car is always bad. But Fate Esports actually noticed that, okay, that's not smart to do now. Okay, let's pull to the different angle. But AM got the high ground, and this high ground is really good. Still, that 2-2 split, I like it. I really like it from AM.
I still think it's very risky at phase 3. But if they're confident of holding on to it, I can only respect that. Quato Forces, they're going to have 963 squad pushing on in. It is going to be a trade knockdown between these two sides. They're a little bit further away, and it's somewhat relatively out in the open, so I can't expect a heavy push from either side. They're just going to look to trade a couple of knocks and protect the areas around them.
Yeah, definitely. The revive was done for QF, and we're gonna see a revive for 963. If I were QF or 963, I wouldn't have taken this fight, or I would try to avoid this fight because they are both middles and they might get third parties by AM or Fate actually. Although Fate doesn't have the vehicle to do any big change, but AM is doing decent pressure on all the teams. Nasser now are coming in as well. Maybe they want to try to take a better spot in the middle, and that's their actually intentions to do so, and split on that hill, kind of trying to gather more information. The drop is not right next to them, so they can benefit from the drop and get their gear. Maybe an AWM now sniper would be like insanely good for long range fights in Miramar, because it's always getting the entry, and again the zone is going to the hill where AM 963 Fate and QF are actually in the zone. We'll see a decent, we're gonna see like 4 decent moves to keep an eye on. First, GSG pushing HQ, then making themselves in the zone. Second, Nasser actually getting in the zone from the edge side of where QF are holding. TSK wanna also get themselves in, so this is gonna be a question, because we see Badr already going for a wide rotation. Would this be their intentions to make a really wide rotation toward the east side, coming from northeast and moving? And will they face SSF there or not? So a lot of things to keep an eye on. It's gonna be interesting.
It is. Nasser Esports have done a great job of obviously taking that crate, but leaving Khaled further back to protect behind them, right? To make sure that nobody is breaching on the area behind them as they look to push in. For 963, they have to be careful, because there is an opportunity for Nasser to come in from the western side outside the circle. I know it's relatively flat between where Nasser are now and 963, but I do think it is possible. The only thing is that Nasser do have to be careful of any kind of third party from the side of QT. 11 teams left, 36 players on this phase 4 shift, and down on the south side, Arab GSG and Arab Madness, they are looking to clash on the south side, on the north side of Los Leones.
Yeah, 100%. I'm following this up on Arab Madness, and GSG actually went for this kind of rotation. It was like smart. They got one of their players, very important players, Zoro, to get knocked, but they were able to manage to get this revive done. And now Fate Esports knew that there is someone above us other than the AM GSG, so they are trying to look like 3 players alive. They want to make sure that they don't really get any of their players not Fate, because it's not gonna be smart. They have more center than AM and GSG might be able to push if they eliminate AM Spy and AM Benwell. This is like a thing for GSG to think about, like what's our next move. like what we'll be doing next zone. Like this is really important for GSG. So we'll see like how will they actually react to this within like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. We see those rotations are being done around Fate, HQ, 2 players only alive. They want to make their spot clear, and the zone is going to shift to phase 5, and here we go. No way. Frag machines with their rotations after taking edge of zone, they are in the zone, 2-man squad, but next to Fate. Like they have Fate as a cover for them.
They do, and you know, I'm just kind of keeping a peeky eye on the northern side as Quadar forces. They did go for a 2-2 split. Phoenix got dropped as the side of TSK. Spark Esports come in. They get a second knock, a second kill on the Quadar forces, and that's where 2-2 splits past phase 3 are incredibly risky. I like the fact that Quadar forces were trying to be kind of somewhat controlling, but keep as a 3-1, right? Get the information and then send in as a full squad. But in the end, now they're going to be down to 2 players moving in. You have Nasser Esports to the west of them, and we see Master getting knocked down. You get surrounded by a couple of teams, you're down to 2 players, and instantly your game goes from good to bad, and that's where you have to recognize when it's time to stick together and when it's time to go for a 2-2 split.
100% sure QF are suffering actually because of this move, and they are not aware actually of the fact that Nasser would be pushing them, and they have to escape from the north side, and they had like AM behind them, so they had to think further, and this is what we always try to like inform the players, try to give a note. But I like the fact that Nasser Esports sent Satan like to get his spot in the zone, while the rest, the 3 of them, are actually fighting. Nectar, Wadia, Khalid, they are fighting while Satan got them a spot, and now they are making this move and this rotation. I do believe that Nasser Esports might be the winners of this game because they are doing smart rotations, unless they engage now in an unnecessary fight and get themselves really in a bad position.
Great push initially coming out from the side of BS. They did take down one of the members of Arab Madness. Indeed, that's going to be Arab Madness squad wipe, so it does give a little bit of time, a little bit of space for Commando to get the revive onto Hayden and hold on to that eastern side of the circle. Down on the south Arab GSG, you got Headquarters, you got Fate, you got Frag Machines, all vying for a position on the north of Los Leones. There's a road in front of them, so if phase 6 does shift up north, which indeed it does, it's going to be even harder as they have to take each other and move in to the open area of the fields inside this phase circle. It's so tough with SSF in play as well as a 3-man team. Fate loses Lath, gets him knocked down, but Ragnarok and Zoe still trying to hold on. Baran, being a 1-man wrecking machine, pushes in, confirms a kill onto Fate, pushing them down to an instant 2-man team as SSF try to push in. You can't go too deep though, because you can't be third party from distance. Stay inside the building, stay inside this area. It's a double knockdown from Fate as SSF is down to this Ragnar. Turn around the old switcheroo in this team fight. Puts Fate into a little bit of a firm grasp and firm control, but Ragnarok gets knocked down. Ragnar, he's going to look for the pre-fire shots. He finds the squad one, and he keeps the game alive for SSF Ragnar.
I
being
love
the
it,
antithesis
man. I really
of
love
that
it.
squad fight.
I really love it how Ragnar like could do this and like switch something like really decent, taking Fate down. But the team here that actually benefit from this is GSG. Like they had to make a move, and they actually made a move and approached there. But at HQ, that's still two man squad like standing behind the GSG, waiting for them to do a move. And here we see the shots against Pharaon, and Pharaon will get knocked by the zone. This is insane, man. Like this is insane. HQ put the power on them, but he died for the zone. So HQ are suffering, and Frag are gatekeeping. Now GSG waiting for Zoro and to push that spot to try to take him down somehow. And here we see like Nasser Esports got squad wiped. It's impossible. What's happening?
Oh my god, I know BS just got wiped out, but they single-handedly got the better of Nasser Esports. It was absolutely insane. Frag Machines have been able to move into the circle where Roxin is going to get taken out, and that's going to be the end of them. 2 teams left, but Zoro, who's far away from the circle, trying to heal up for dear life. He has 8 medkits. I really feel this is a matter of when, not if, for 963 to close out this Miramar chicken dinner.
But 963 actually very well played holding that angle there. Like they didn't actually split, but they played it kind of teamwork and smart gameplay there. But they eliminated Nasser in a really crazy way. Like they can try to take them one after one and benefiting from the third part thing, because Nasser Esport got shot also from BS, like Badina squad. So they got a higher pressure on them, but they still managed to get in actually position 3 or 4. So it was like smart gameplay from Nasser. I really love the rotation that they have done.
Yeah.
Also for a frag, like they got eliminated at position 3. So it's like crazy with 2-man squad only. I really appreciate this level that they are showing us. The guys 963 with only 5 kills, not much kills, but this is what we spoke about, that let's say a team who's getting kills kind of or getting the position, the placement, they go for less kills because they are being, let's say, more lucky with the zone, or they are doing good rotations kind of, and not engaging too much at early game, but they do engage in the end of the game. And here we see GSG being second position, not really bad after the zone, like perfectly switch away from them for 3-4 times already. They did that rotation, avoided HQ. Then they had to go in a fight on the top spot, like having Fate below them and having HQ also on their side. So they had to engage a bit, but still they managed to get top 2. Like really important.
Yeah, definitely. And I said when phase 1 popped up, I said La Bandita is a core area to kind of hold on for the first part of a game, and we saw I low-key forget who it was exactly that dropped in that area to begin with. It was, I think it was Frag Machines, if I'm not mistaken, that dropped around that area, but they moved quite far away from La Bandita, and as much as I get that, I feel like it would have made more sense for them to have kept one player in that area until phase 2 popped up, because when it went up more north, other teams reacted and were in a better position than they were. So I definitely think that was a little bit of a mistake from Frag Machines. But some of the circle shifts were definitely difficult. I love the fact that a few teams did try to hold on for a 2-2 split. But again, like I mentioned during the game, you got to recognize when the time to pull that out and when the time to stick to as a full squad is there. Some great team fights. I'm very, very impressed with the side of Bandit squad.
Exactly.
Honestly, very impressed with them.
This is what I wanted to say about Bandit squad. Like having 13 kills, like this is really important. 13 points is like almost same as a chicken dinner, like 2 points ahead for a chicken dinner. So this is like insanely done, well done from Bandit squad. Really like the game sense that they showed us. Although like we're not following too much their fights, but we did see their rotations and how they managed to take those kind of fights more tactical than like aggressive. You know, unlike. Let's say team TSK and who like they faced together with team THM having a really aggressive 4v4 fight, for example, but still like they ended up having also team TSK 7 kills, which is important as having 7 points. A QF with a very, very, very well done rotation, and I really love the rotation they have done, but position 10, 0 kills. This was bad. And as you mentioned before, this split 2-2 at the phase 3, phase 4 didn't actually do any advantage. So GG, well played. Nothing else we can say. We're gonna get back with game 3, and it's gonna be the last game for today, because we're not gonna go for game 4, just stick to 3 games. So the last game will be Erangel game. It's gonna be too exciting. I love the Erangel games. It's the classic ones, you know. It's I really love map Erangel after all. So what's your expectation for Erangel? Like, would we see 963 winning? Would we see Frag? Would we see HQ? Like, who exactly?
I'm thinking a team like Frag Machines or Headquarters. The reason why is because Erangel is the map that the team should know the most, but it's also the map that probably benefits a team that has played on it competitively more often than other teams. So I'm expecting a more experienced team to be able to deal with positioning on Erangel compounds, areas, circle shifts a lot more effectively compared to other maps and compared to other teams. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a headquarters or a Frag Machines chicken dinner for this game 3.
Actually, this is really exciting to hear, but I would personally try to go with the Force, or I would
Okay.
go with the GZ, which are Mega Magma.
Fair,
Okay,
fair.
because I know them, they really play those games pretty well. But just to mention that if it was a Gatka zone, Fury Pier zone, I would vote for GZ because I saw them like many times there dominating that
Okay.
area. They love it. If we see a Georgiopol zone, I would definitely go with the Force, because also the Force really like to play that area. Like they know how to like do those late rotation and
Okay.
third party and do those actions. You know, THM also drop in the containers, so we're gonna see. THM is I don't believe they are the best team to defend the spot, but they are really good in
Yeah.
attacking. You know, I love their attacking way. This is why I always say. In the game you need to find this right balance, like how
Definitely.
to defend. Like Fate Esports, one of the best teams who defend their spot. THM, one of the best teams who attack a spot. So we'll be right back, 5 minutes, and we're gonna get back to the third game and the last game, which will be Erangel game for now. Okay, be right back, guys. We'll be short soon back. ليتس جو. هلا بالشباب، رجعنا للجيم الثالثة عفوا، وراح تكون الأخيرة اليوم معنا، يلي هي على محطة الإيرانجل بين أفضل الفرق المتواجدة معنا في اي سبورتس اتش كيو. بدينا سكواد بجيم أسطوري كان منهم ب 11 كل، كانوا حاصلين كلات كتير عالية، و8 كيلز لحالهم كانوا لكوماندو 13 كل. اكشلي عم شوف الجي زي بالسانكو ال تشابو فليم ومارشال فول سكواد عم تلعب. بس بعد فينوم عم بيتمرن من الايباد للموبايل. By the way, Venom is an iPad Imperium and he's practicing on to switch to mobile. He participated
Really?
he participated with the YALLA eSports in the STAR Challenge 2019 back in Riyadh, but now it's but you know, like he didn't continue on mobile. Now he's training back to mobile and he will be something huge in the scene. I do believe he got the talent.
Good.
You know, so we'll see.
I hope
we'll
so.
see. Frag Machines 3 players playing Roxanne Lord and Raouf. عنا الاس ام بي شباب، عنا الجي اس جي والاليت صالح 3 players as well. نصر وديع ستان زياد وخالد. ذا فورس يزيد جروزا بيسان بومبا. بيسان هو اللاست اديشن لالون. باور عزوز مع تي اس كي الاديشن كمان. تي اتش ام كراكن يونس نابو درفان. سباي بن وائل. ما راح اعرف الفظ اسمه. I wouldn't know how to spell the name of the player from AM. اقعد راحة. اوكي اقعد راحة. اوكي. It's a weird name sometimes in Arabic. SSF, SSF, Grunful, Umran, Ragnar, and Falcon. By the way, the names stands, the letters in our names, the numbers in our names, and
Yes.
stands for something. So whenever you
I
say
know.
2, it's a, and whenever you see 3, it's a, and 7 is ha. You know?
Yeah,
So just
I've started to learn 7. That's the one that I'm like probably like the most confident with. But
Yeah.
all the other numbers, I'm like, okay, let's like learn it one number at a time. But it definitely the Arabic names of players is probably the toughest outside of CIS region. Probably the toughest I've had to learn. So I apologize if I'm saying any names wrong. And if I do continue to say these names wrong, I'll try to learn and get better at them. But yeah.
That's perfect. Normal man. It's always we appreciate that you are here anyway. جد متشكر. الامبيريوم هو المعلق الرسمي اللي راح يكون للستار تشالنج باللغه الانجليزيه، وهو المعلق الرسمي لاي بطوله عم بتصير بالايو، بالورد ليج وغيره، البي ام جي سي، و يعني عنده potential كتير عالي وعم بيوصل له اكثر بعالم الاي سبورتس. Now we're talking about teams. We know GSG drop around Ferry Pier, okay? We know the force always go to the military. We see Nasser esports like Frag always go to Poshinki, Frag and Nasser, okay? But this time both of them switched. They didn't go to Poshinki, so no one in Poshinki. Okay, usually we see them in Poshinki. That's the thing. GZ we always see them in Rozok, so they take Rozok. SMP they go here around the farm area. And there is TG together like next to them, and here we go Gatka zone. Gatka zone like
Oh my lord.
Nasser,
Okay.
Nasser Satana and THM are already fighting on that spot, like oof, huge fight. Nasser and THM the monster.
It's just ironic that Nasser kind of didn't drop the Bachinki, maybe because they thought they might have come across frag machines and are like, yeah, we'll drop the Nova because that might be safer, and another team drops with them. Although maybe they knew the monster was going to be there with them. When you're looking at Nasser, they have a nice spread across this area. Walia is on his own, and I kind of worry about that. But they do have a lovely, clean kind of blanket of angles onto the members of Monster who are jumping up and down and in and out of those crates. So they might be able to catch out. Nasser might be able to catch out the Monster should they find an opportunity.
Actually, we see now 3 fights actually. Fight between 963 who always go to Lipovka, and we see TSK, but in the Star Challenge, if TSK are playing and a nice crew won't be played, so the Lipovka will be only for TSK. So that's a good thing for TSK. You know, like okay, we're not gonna encounter anyone in this area, and we see the nade from Dark Artist, and actually it landed a knock on TSK Willy, but Power Azuz was able to cover that player. Like 3 fights here and there, like 3 important fights. The fights in THM and Nasser, it's getting like really like tough there. We see Nabo is trying to take the fight against Nasser, and actually Nasser Satan get down from IGL versus IGL, you know, knock. So you see Khalid is trying to give support, but Khalid on the close range against Yunus, and he gets the knock actually against Yunus with a, oh my god, man. Oh my god, those fights on the close range, it's always intense. Always.
Oh, and then Zia gets caught out by Darwin from the sidelines. Now it's the monster coming out on top, and they will remain as a full squad. So nicely done by them in the Nova region. But like you said, fights are definitely continuing to break out. 963 and TSK are still fighting on, but 963 are down to, as far as I know, just one player. That's Godfather on his own, just trying to run away out of sight, out of mind, and hopefully he can survive as a one-man army for his side.
Yeah, well, and if the teams that you know that got invited, they will be participating there. So we have Elite always jump in Meta Power. We have Fate who jump. Usually they have 2 splits: 2 players in Hospital and 2 on Gatka, or in Milta side. So this is their splits. We have Team SMP, they jump where they jump now. We have Frag and Poshinki. Nasser, obviously we're seeing Nasser in Novo. I'm not sure that they will take Novo since THM won't be in the Star Challenge, so they might take Novo actually, and this would be a huge step for them. GSG will always take Ferry Pier area. This is their looting drop. They're gonna take it. HQ would take the Giorgio Pole, the city area, like the South of Giorgio. We're gonna see containers and North Georgia for YALLA Esports. They will be jumping there for sure. Badina and squad, we see them in Yasnaya Poliana, but in Yasnaya also RAT, Rico Infinity team, who might be a part of the Star Challenge, might jump there. GZ, we're gonna always see them in Rozok. So it's kind of like settled for the teams, like where to jump and what to do, all of them actually. So this is really good thing. Like, okay, the force and military base. So we're gonna see this kind of splits in the tournament, hopefully, and most probably, since it's only 16 teams, it's not like 24 teams, and you need to change when you're playing Group A, Group B. Yeah, so we're not gonna see a lot of changes, and I'm pretty much sure no yearly fights will happen in Star Challenge unless a team is willing or wanna take a fight against another.
Well, that's where the rotations and the circle shifts are going to come into play, right? And even where the playing paths are going to come in, because as much as, you know, you have your core drop spots, in my opinion, a team should always have a secondary drop spot depending on where the playing path is. So if you like to drop down south and that playing path is like heavily up north, you want to have that secondary drop spot. And if you don't, you're only risking getting caught out on that drop, getting caught out on a rotation to your drop spot. So, you know, we might see a couple of early game fights, but across what you're saying, you are dead right in the sense of players and teams should be a little bit more settled in their drop spots in a angle where we won't have too many early engagements or any hot drop engagements.
Definitely, that's the case. Also, another thing to mention in Mina, that most probably more teams out of the 16 would be willing to play the center than playing the edge, and this would be an issue for many, like a lot of teams on the rotation. So for example, let's say for Team HQ, they would be willing to play the middle more, GSG the middle. We have frag machines, they don't really need to play the middle always, because they can actually work on different possibilities. Play middle, or like not all the teams have the chance to play the middle or the edge, you know, like some of them are too good in the middle only. But the edge also is very, very important thing to mention or to consider, because some situation you might be playing middle or edge, so you need to handle in both situations. Anyway, it's gonna be interesting for the Middle Eastern team, like playing on this level. $100K is gonna be, this is crazy. And here we see start the early fights between TF and SSF on the bridge. Like how would SSF hold this position against TF? Actually, TF did a very well done job, like pushing that solo player on the bridge instead of delaying the rotation, and SSF weren't aware, like they should have considered that, okay, we're on the side of the bridge, so we really need to gather our forces and go to the bridge to camp the bridge or pass, like one of them is very important, because the team from military base will definitely come from here, but they didn't do this. Like this is really big mistake. And here we see elite on the rotations fight against together, huge fight.
Yeah, a little fight coming out as Rocky do get a player, I believe, caught out, if I'm not mistaken, playing around the bunker side. They did get a knockdown onto Faisal of Together. So overall, they are winning this team fight. And they do send Together away from this area, but left as a one-man team. Glorious is going to have to put out a glorious performance if he's going to finish this game on a high note for his side. The Force are making their way across the Restaurant Bridge. There is a convergence of teams towards the center of this phase one, which you talked about, right? RGSG and Gatka. You have headquarters down by one of the gutter areas. Frag machines are to the east of them. You have then Quadar forces to the west of RGSG, and then our Madness down towards the south. So, in my opinion, teams are converging really well. I would like to see BS use the northern side of the river to their advantage on their rotation in towards the circle, and maybe converge onto Everest, because when you looked at the playing path that was quite kind of heavily towards the eastern side, there's going to be less teams that are going to be on that western side of the map. Therefore, there's a much higher chance that nobody's going to be in around the north of or the northwest of Everest. So definitely a BS could use that area to their advantage.
Definitely, we can say that, because the plane lane was actually from like southern part of the map more.
Exactly.
So less teams of the northwest area would be there, and this is very smart from BS to maintain that position, especially on the compounds, which is like you can cross to Georgia Pole with it. Like this is really important compounds to keep, and it's tactical compounds for next rotations. We see Fate also approaching the middle. We see SSF are trying to take that rotation in 3-man squad to push from the Novo Bridge, but THM are already there and they have information about that. We already see Glorious, like team together, they got 2 knocks and 2 finishes on team on team SMP, but they lost the 3 players for team Elite. Like this is really sad to hear, like on the farm area losing a lot of teams and players from the rotations. And here the zone now, it's more likely, I was expecting actually a north zone, but now it's gonna be like centering all the teams, and BS are doing that, a huge rotation. Would they engage with a GZ or not? We'll see this happening, but the bridge camp, like that fight, come on man, SSF and THM, a really late fight in phase 2, you know, like it's not what we were expecting.
Monster, okay, it's a little bit crazy. I get why the Monster are kind of obviously not moving into the mainland as early, but SSF, they could easily have taken a boat rotation on the western side of the island rather than rotating all the way to the eastern side. I got why they went for an eastern bridge rotation, but yeah, kind of essentially getting caught out. They're down to 2 players, Falcon and Amaran. So, but the Monster also are going to get punished for this as well, because all this time they're being ticked down on damage. They're not getting any kind of position inside the circle. The good thing for them is that, which we know, is that there is plenty of entry space in the circle, but because they're rotating late, they don't know that, so they will still be threatened with a bit of caution.
100% now we see Frag is getting the N3 knock from Raouf against the player Ida and getting a knock, and they're trying to push that angles, but the GZ is getting Frag Raouf from a long range fight, and Powerful is trying to finish Raouf, and this is what Raouf paid for. Like taking those fights here in an open areas, it's not always that possibility. Like sometimes you need to play more more, you know, like, okay, I got a knock, like, hey, I'm here, just like stay away from us, you know, not always like get a knock and then push it, because now HQ
Yeah.
were able to get the like they got defended heavily by team by the players like GZ who are on the north side from Senko, El Chapo, Marshall and Flame. They were able to knock Raouf and HQ got that finish, but Frag now, a two-man squad, they're not able to actually do a huge damage to V4. They won't be able to make it, knowing that the phase 2 is about to start moving like in 30 seconds or something. It's gonna be interesting for phase 3. How will it be? Where will the zone be? Who would be the most beneficiary from it? It's gonna be like really like interesting for such teams with their rotation. But you know what actually crossed my mind, like talking about rotations, the rotation of Fate, like they went in the middle of everywhere.
Yeah, they did, and they're paying all for it. Frag Machines are now looking to seek a little bit of revenge on headquarters. They get a double knockdown on the Bandar and Jamas. It basically leaves Powerful on his own. It's a triple knockdown on the headquarters. Getting caught out. And it should have been a little bit more aware. Roxanne and Lord of Frag Machines playing as a fantastic dynamic duo in this area. Shots being fired up by Powerful, playing around these buildings. Now going to be ticking around, using the smokes to get into the other building so he can look for any kind of revive on the Jamas. Of course, time moves down, the revive is looking to be executed. That allows Frag Machines to push in Ronan. He fires up and towards that doorway. He goes on either side. He does not pull off that revive, so it is going to be Powerful on his own, but he gets a knockdown onto Ronan. Can the redemption come through? No, it won't. Lore comes in on the side, in amongst the smokes, and gets sweet revenge onto headquarters. Frag Machines survive as a two-man team.
Brilliant gameplay, of course, from Frag getting those two knocks while they were trying to actually reposition. That's what the mission of HQ, sending either to the chopsticks, you know, like trying to gather a better spot there, getting themselves away from the fires of GZ and the Frag Machines. But he actually got knocked for Fate, and they did him a really huge favor for Frag, and Frag got two knocks. Then they hot pushed that spot, and Lord Def. Ooh, this shot on Ragnarok, it was from Andalito with AWM. It was insane. Isawi, they lost Isawi earlier in the game, and he received like teams. Look at the teams, man. Like they are most probably in the center. Everybody. Only SSF are being on the edge, but that's because of the bridge camp of THM, and THM are doing now a hard rotate on the other bridge. Like it's crazy, but no one is playing the edge. Everybody's playing center. So if the zone now hard shift toward any spot like north, west, east, or south, it's gonna be really hard for teams to rotate from center to the other side. Like it's gonna be really bad.
I don't think this phase 3 is going to be as dangerous as if it is a hard shift, because so many teams are converged towards the center, and as it happens, the center's up quite nicely. You only see essentially 4 teams outside the circle. You have Quaidar, you have our Madness, you have SSF, and you have the Monster, but everybody else is already inside the circle. It does create a little bit of a cluster down on the south and southeast side of the circle, where there is still quite a few compounds available on the north side between outside of Ruins and outside of Everest. But other than that, all the teams can pretty much stay where they are.
I still think that the next zone will be most probably in northeast zone. It's gonna be like more likely toward northeast, or it can be hard shifting toward east, because there's something that's a rule in the game that the zone must hard shift twice or three times at least, and we didn't see this happening now, so it's gonna come in phase 4 and phase 5 definitely, and phase 6 and phase 7 there will be 2 or 3 hard shifts then, and I expect the hard shift will be next one. So next zone will be hard shifting, and I do personally expect it to be the north side more than the south side, but who knows, it can be northwest or northeast, it depends. And now we see the fight between BS. BS are spotting themselves in really bad spot. One house only, 4 of them. Their cars are vulnerable for everybody to destroy, and that's what actually Elite are doing, just destroying their vehicles. This is really bad.
It is, but then again, BS have the comfort of the buildings, right? And even though Iraqi Elite have done a great job of being controlling in this high ground area, not only as a 3-man team rather than a full squad, but in the open areas, it's still at the end of the day, the advantage for the next circle is in favor of BS. But the thing is, will BS stay too uncontrolling in those buildings? Will they expose themselves to the members of Iraqi Elite? I don't believe Iraqi Elite have necessarily any vehicles to move in heavily onto BS because they did get a knockdown earlier on and they didn't push in on that. But we'll have to wait and see who finds the first knock, the first advantage. And Commando comes out straight away, knocks down Salah from behind that tree. But again, I don't think BS want to really push this. They're just going to know, hey, we suppress Iraqi Elite for a short period of time.
100% true that they are trying more like, okay, we're holding this angle, but we're not gonna hard push you because hard pushing in the open area can be super tricky if you don't have vehicles. Yep. And BS lost their vehicles kind of, especially that they don't have the cover vehicles, which is if you want to call it the Dacia or the UAZ. They do have buggies, and buggy is not really a good spot to use as a cover. And here we see the sniper shot from Atlas against Ali, and I guess this time they know that the third or the rest of the team like getting revived there, but we'll see how would this turn. I don't think that it's gonna end in a like no one would lose actually from the whole both players.
Yeah.
Okay, but we see actually an interesting move from THM toward the south west area against AM. AM will manage to get some stuff, and TF now are pushing actually SSF. So I'm gonna go to TF who got a knock and a finish on SSF and a knock, and they are trying to hard push it now with Bomba approaching. SSF Umran is in the shack, last one alive. He got a nade. He can get Bomba actually with this nade, and this nade can land on Bomba, and yeah, GG, well played. Ooh. From Umran. That the last man standing. He's trying to revive his friend Valcom, but the first won't allow him. Bisan and Groza will be hardly pushing this spot, maybe going for the revive for Bomba not to lose him. Actually, Bomba managed to get him there, but yeah, it's really insane. Umran with his nades again. This can be like deadly. Like he's throwing a nade again. He can get a knock. He can get confirm a knock and get another knock, but this wasn't the case. Wow, man. I love those games. Tactical.
Very tactical indeed, as he does get a knockdown onto Falcon. The Force need to realize that they have to push in on only one angle, and that's basically down the low ground south side of the hill, which is basically unexposed to SMP. They've got 54 seconds until the blue zone starts closing in. They are further away from the circle. B-Sen coming in on one side along with Yizzy. Gets another knockdown on Brown. Falcon's going to be last player standing, but he goes down. Nice push from the Force. It was always going to be tough for SSF, but at the end of the day, the Force really pulled out a strong engagement on that inside the shack.
Really love it. And here we go with the zone. We just missed it, but it went north, just as I said, and GG are the most benefit from this. And the teams will fight really hard for them to rotate. A lot of teams rotating on the tight angle around THM, and Elite are going in. This is a really strong fight on for Elite. They tried to push BS, but BS were able to defend that actually, but they lost. Actually, they almost lost 2 players. They got knocked. They are getting the revive. Will BS will be able to do this rotation if they do rotate toward the northeast, like northwest side. From the northeast side, they'll be able to get in the zone easily on that ruins area. They have no one, but they don't have the vehicles to do so. It's gonna be really hard, really hard.
It is gonna be really hard indeed. We did see a couple of wide rotations come out from the likes of Armanis and Quiet Our Forces.
They have a fight there, like it's really important.
They are fighting, yeah. They both rotated in the same area. First knockdown on the Joker. Spies pushing on through. Make sure he doesn't push in too heavily on his own. The high ground is in theory going to go into favor of QF. Spy's going to get dropped to the floor. See Drava. Hold on. Then on low ground. Nice flank coming in from Whale. Going to be able to get a nice clean second knockdown, leaving Phoenix on his own. 1-1 in this area, but a lovely grenade is going to see quite our forces get put down to the ground by our madness. That was a really solid engagement by our madness.
Really on time, and as we spoke, that other hard shift from the zone, and it goes where?
Northeast, as you said.
Like, yeah, man. They tell me that I'm the zone hacker, but anyway, we do understand a lot of stuff on the zones, like how would it react with the zone. GZ is the most beneficiary of this, and a lot of fights like GZ did defend their spot perfectly against 963. After 963 tried to rotate, now Fate are sending someone in the zone, and BS are getting the edge of the zone, but BS Commando wouldn't allow Fate Harif to get himself easily there. I don't know, he caught the rotation. Actually, he's trying to shoot, but it's no bullets hitting Harif. They are trying to take that angle before Harif, but really brilliant rotation from Fate, like getting themselves in the zone. Harif now is in there. If BS doesn't make any, if BS got a knock on Harif, they will dominate that spot, and this is really important for them. And I really like the courage there that they decided to put that angle, because pushing that angle, okay, we outnumber him now before he get the support, and here we go with the GZ. Senku is getting the knock actually on that Fate player, and Fates are suffering with the rotation now from BS and their guns like together. It's really insane. Like one bullet down. Like one bullet, you're gonna get down. Fate will be one bullet shot and they will go down.
And here we go. Just like that, they go down. It's actually a third party from GZ as well inside the circle, and that's where maybe Fate should have realized going from one edge of the circle to the other essentially is incredibly risky. RBGSG are looking for a little bit of a similar rotation, but they're not going so deep into the circle. They're just getting in. They send Rafiq forward, and the rest of the team are following suit in those vehicles. So they have the vehicles as protection. They have the edge of the circle, and that was a much better rotation coming out from RFGSG. They took their time to pull it off, but they got the information before they made it work. BS are still holding on inside this game, but Atlas gets dropped to the floor while Commando's getting the revive on the Freak.
Really like it from Benoit. AM Benoit. He's taking those flanks and he's actually putting more pressure on BS, as same as he really saw, like he did a hell of a job on the hill of Everest Hill, like taking this flank also, and now he's taking another flank on BS, putting more pressure on BS. I don't know if it will manage to take Freak down, but Freak actually in very decent cover, and the zone again hard shifting toward the north, where GZ and AM are the most beneficiary from it. But talking about GZ, like having 4-man squad alive, this is really important for GZ to consider. Having 4 kills, this might turn out to be a really good like they can put more pressure from their angle, especially you know, like,
but they are outside the circle. They are outside the circle, so there is something to think about. And Angelito gets a lovely AWM headshot knockdown on the flame.
And
so that's gonna
it's not his first AWM knock. Like he at least got the third one so far, like especially that we're missing this. But I'm gonna move to Andalito now and see how would he manage with doing this sniper shot, because he got this knock, you know. They should benefit from it and try to push toward GZ in case this is doable, because but they decided to put Zoro on the other side and the close range fight against BS Commando, and here we go. Zoro confirming the kill against Commando, and Dalito confirming the kill against Lord. This was a brilliant actually, because Lord could put high pressure on them. Now they are moving, but Benoit, he's in an off angle position, and he's in flank position, and he's getting those knocks, and he got the knock against Zoro. Wow, very well played. Very well played.
Especially outside the circle. Realizing that he has to frag out to give time, space for the rest of the team to move in. They're still on top of the hill. The circle's closing in on Facek. That gives also a little bit of time for GS to pull in closer to the circle, but El Chapo is going to be the one to get a lovely knockdown. As the play zone is going to claim the life of Ferran. Still 3 teams left, 9 players. 3v4
and
v2.
The headshot sniper from Andalito. Oh my god, this guy is insane. This guy is insane. He got that knock, like really was really important, and he received that 1-1 fight between him and Benoit. Benoit, like AM Benoit is playing like really good. Like he's putting a whole pressure on alone on people. Oh, this nade. Oh my god. No. This nade, like, yeah, Andalito could actually expect the nade, and he's actually moving in a way, like in a smart way. We see GZ, we see AM, and we see GSG. Like it's really important for Andalito to put this nade and stop the pressure of Benoit from like he did a hell of a job, like being in a spot where it's unexpected to be in, you know, like okay guys, no one expect me to be here, so I'm gonna move it in the right time. And GZ actually, they were able to do the revise, and now they have the numbers which
Insane.
allow them actually to do the game, because 4v3 v1, that's the whole situation.
And luckily for our Madness is that on that phase 7 it rotated up north, so it meant that they didn't have to move really downhill. But we see Ambuel does get taken down.
Wow.
It is going to be our Madness down to 2 players surrounded by 2 teams. GZ has a full squad up. Marshall's prone down in towards the center part of the circle, looking to gain a controlling area. Flame is in the background, looking to throw that vehicle in towards the center, provide that level of support for Marshall. Pushing in, we see one member of our Madness getting taken out. The whole members, that's a full squad wipe. It's 1v4, and you know, the AWM isn't going to do you much job in the late game at this stage, as it is going to be 1v4, but GZ push in. They survived for dear life. They got player knockdown after knockdown, but at the end of the day, they didn't get wiped. They got the revives off, they claim this chicken dinner in Erangel.
I love it, man. I really love it. Like you see, as I told you, that if it was a Gatka zone around Gatka zone, it was like almost to Gatka zone, who would win it? A GZ, because I know them. They very well played those open areas. Like they are really like sneaky gameplay, that they know when to go aggressive, when to go passive. And actually they went passive pretty much until the zone hard shifted toward them. Then they didn't actually lose any advantage. The advantage were given to them, and they played it really well. And they got this chicken with 6 kills only for Senku with 10 kills total, which is really good. 25 points, giving them the chance to be the top of today's scrims. GSG playing really decent rotations against man. Like GSG not getting the zone, but they do the good rotations. They always do the good rotations. I really love it from Rafiq, their IGL. Like he got really nice sense of how to rotate and how to always get, like this is the second game they finished second, Miramar and Erangel.
Yep. Even our Madness as well, because they were down on the south. As far as I know, they were down on the west/southwest side of, I think, phase 3 or 4, and they rotated over onto the northwest, took down a squad on Everest, but they then moved all the way over to the north and northeast side of the circle. That was a fantastic rotation from our Madness, where they were able to really kind of pick off a few players from that location and stay out of trouble from the cluster of teams down south, as the circle did shift up northeast. So really, that was incredible play from our Madness. It could have gone a hell of a lot worse for them.
Yeah, I really like it, and I do think that you know, after doing all this kind of like this kind of gameplay that they always show for us, it's really important. Like again, man, really respect the move that the team done, because when they moved to Everest and they pulled the fight before on the rotations with THM, and then they pulled the fight on the top there, but Benoit was the for me, if I want to call now who was the MVP, it was Benoit, because he did a hell of a job on his own. That flanks he's done, he saved his team. Then again, that flank he's done, he did put GSG in a really huge pressure, but Andalito like could save it alone. You know, they were 4 men alive and they put the right pressure, but being outside the zone in an unexpected angle and taking down 2 players of GSG, then making sure that to eliminate GSG on 3 players of them. So literally saying like, hey guys, you're not gonna get the win because of me. And this was his move, and I really loved it. GZ playing the zone well, no mistakes, man. Like they always try to work it. Like, okay, I peek from a hard cover, I never peek in the open. I love this. And we shouldn't forget the player Lord from Frag, like having on his own 5 kills. It was like really epic, pushing HQ and making also an advantage for them, taking 3 kills for himself alone, then gathering 2 more kills around. So We see a lot of experience, and a lot of more serious gameplay from certain teams. I really respect this. Fate Esports doing those rotations early, but losing due to zone shifting away from them. They couldn't handle it because they were a three-man squad since they lost Isawi at start. But the rotations done, the game's done, the game sense is really improving for those teams, and we're seeing decent fights going there. I really like it, but I'm a bit disappointed from Nasir Esports because they weren't able to show something decent. But I guess this is fine because actually they moved to Novo. They dropped in Novo instead of dropping in Poshinki. And this was the game changer because they lost against THM after getting the first knock against THM. So I guess maybe if they could be played a bit more aware, but this wouldn't happen in big events, man. Like this won't happen in a huge tournament. Like, just push. Sometimes people take it easy. Like, okay, let's be tactical. Let's eliminate 1-2 and finish the fight there. Like ceasefire. Okay, nothing to lose. We got 2 points. You got 1 point. Okay, let's seize the fire. Play. We'll meet you again. Because Nasser were in a position where they could actually get a knock and finish, for example, and dip toward the bridge and gatekeep THM. Like they will put more pressure on THM. Okay, come to us, come to the bridge. We're gonna take you there, and just doing a great ambush for them there, it could work out better.
Definitely. I'm also quite disappointed, even though these are just scrims. I was definitely disappointed with headquarters because they taken down 2 players of frag machines, right? And they were in the circle quite nicely on that. On I think it was circle 3 when they got caught out, and even though Ida was the player that I believe got caught out by Fate as he was rotating, I got that because he was maybe repositioning to get information for the next circle. But it really begs the question: how did the other 2 players of headquarters get dropped so quickly? As in, surely they should have been aware. Wait, we took down 2 players of frag machines. Maybe the rest of the squad are still there. So that was probably, to me, very disappointing from headquarters that they got lackadaisical in that compound, because again, they didn't have to move away from those buildings. It's not like they were outside the circle and they had to move in and they got caught out. Exactly. If that had been the case, I would have understood, but they didn't need to move. They kind of played in the open of those buildings, and in the end, frag machines caught them out fourth. So, a little bit disappointed with headquarters.
Well, definitely this repositioning isn't always the smart choice to be done in such games. But again, they tried to send 1 player, but again, man, like Ida had got knocked from GZ, and they actually played it really smart, GZ, like putting pressure on different players. Fate got the knock on Ida when he tried to move to reposition himself more centered. I do believe that, it's okay, disappointing, but it's something for the teams to improve, like this will make the teams improve.
Exactly.
This is why I like it. Like, okay, do those mistakes now, you're gonna make it better.
True. That's the thing. I don't say it in a like, I say it in a little bit of a I know what you guys are capable of, so it's like, it's that's how I see it. But either way, those are some great games. I want to see more wrangle from these teams. I know it sounds weird, but it's like, because wrangle is kind of like the map that every team kind of knows the most. So I feel like it's where you see, I'm not gonna say the most balanced gameplay, but I kind of think the closest games across the board. But it was so good to see these teams in action, and all credit to them, and hope they're preparing nicely for the Star Challenge.
Definitely. We got the results now, but we're not going to announce it on the stream. We're going to announce it in the social media of the Pyramids Network. Hopefully, of course, I'll share it on my Instagram, YALLA_Kevin, and you can definitely follow also Imperium for a lot of action, and check his Instagram. You can mention your Instagram, Imperium Casts.
It's at EVT_Imperium. at EVT_Imperium.
Okay, here we go. So thank you, Imperium, for being guest here. I really appreciate your presence. I love to to do this more often with you. Although, like you're the English part, we are the Arabic part, so it's not always coming to
course.
get born together. But we're always respect for the whole efforts you're doing actually in EU, and shout out for you guys for your decent work level. Like really appreciate it. شكرا شباب عن جد للمشاهدة. النتائج كتير قريبة من بعض وقوية. الأسامي رائعة جدا، مراكز قوية. سو على السوشيال ميديا اعملوا معروف تاعت البيراميدز نتورك، رح تنزل نتائج سون، يعني بعد شوي تنزل النتائج. سو خلوا عينكم عليهم. فولو كمان لا امبيريوم على الانستغرام إذا بتحبوا تشوفوا اكتر او تكونوا عم تتعاملوا اكتر بالسين الاوروبي، وانا السين العربي فيكم لعندي عند يلا_كيفن. شكرا لكم مرة جديدة. إن شاء الله نلتقي بسكريم جديد، مش اليوم مش بكرة بس ممكن قريبا، لأنه نهار الجمعة رح يكون في إيفنت ليلا إي سبورتس، رح ينعمل إليت سكريم على $200 نحكي فيها تابعوا شبكة الاهرامات لحتى نعرف فيها أكتر لهول المعلومات. وإن شاء الله بنكون دايما عند حسن ظنكم بدعم الكوميونتي، وعم نجيب لكم أسامي جديدة. سو حتى اللي ما حدا يقول دايما عم يكون في أسامي جديدة. SSF Together، العرب مادنس هلا عم بيشاركوا، القطر فورسز كمان. يعني عم نحاول قد ما فينا ندعم الصين يا جماعة. وشكرا لكم مرة جديدة. Thank you so much. Thank you Imperium. Thank you the Pyramids. إن شاء الله see you in another day. Bye bye.